My name is Ruth, and I'm on a quest to find 1,000 exciting and impactful women to tell their stories. Whether I'm hitting the road or meeting them virtually, I want to get to know these women to learn what it takes to become successful and live a happy life doing what you love. Welcome to the road to 1,000. The journey starts now. In a world where it's hard to be the first of anything, it's very rare that you meet someone who is. First up on our road to 1,000 is Sasha Senior. Around the world, there are not many female skate shop owners, let alone any black female skate shop owners. That's why Sasha Senior being the first black female skate shop owner in North America is a big deal. An avid skater herself, Sasha opened Bliss Skateboard Shop during the beginning of the pandemic in March 2020.
My name is Sasha Senior. I'm the owner of Bliss Skateboard Shop. I am a single parent. I have 2 young boys, 7 and 4, and I also serve in the Canadian Army.
So you are known as the first black female to have your own skate shop in all of North America. Like, when you started the shop, did you know that was a thing, or did that kind of fall upon you afterwards?
No, I didn't. Like, my whole thing was, I'm a skateboarder. I can get back to the skateboarding. I can open the shop. I can do that on the weekends because I have free time. Because I thought I had free time. So that didn't cross my mind at all. I told my, after maybe about a month of having the space and working on it, I told my friend, I'm like, hey, I'm working on a business project. And he's like, what's this project you keep talking about? And I'm like, dude, I'm going to open a skate shop. And he's like, you're going to open a skate shop? I'm like, yeah. He's like, Sasha, you're going to make history. I'm like, whatever, man. I'm just gonna open a skate shop. Okay, it's fine. Like, that's how that conversation was. And so even though he said it, it still didn't dawn on me that it was gonna have such a big ripple effect as it has.
Yeah. How has that been? Like, because I mean, to be the first of anything is like a really cool thing, but to like actually be the first and have to deal with that pressure, is it pressure, or do you even like at this point is it kind of like it is what it is?
I feel like there is a little bit of pressure. Nothing crazy though, because I know the type of person I am, so I don't see myself ever getting into like any kind of weird trouble or like, you know, my image is shattered or anything like that. So yeah, the only thing I'm concerned about is skateboarding, giving back to the culture, and traveling through skateboarding. Like that's what I want to do, and helping people just get into it. Like that's the best part.
With over 85 million skateboarders participating worldwide, skateboarding has become one of the most popular extreme sports for participants in almost every country. Currently in the US alone, there's over 6 million active skateboarders, and the sport is only growing. Female skaters make up 25% of skateboarders, which has only seen its popularity rise due to it being added to the Tokyo Olympics back in 2020.
There's been so many people that I've spoken to, and there has been not one person who says, I don't know what a skateboard is. Everybody knows what a skateboard is, and everyone is either, I used to skateboard back in the day and I don't do it anymore, or I tried to skateboard once, I fell, never again. Like, those are usually cut and dry. It's either it went this way or it went that way. And then if it goes this way, it was like, you know, I could ollie or like I could kickflip or something. I wasn't that good, but you know, they still have those similarities to everybody else, right? So yeah,
it's funny because like I have a lot of respect for skateboarders, skate culture, because like I'm that person who got on a skateboard one time and fell off and was like, nope, I'm good, you know. So, but you know, I have a lot of respect because I mean, you guys fall, you guys get hurt, you fall in places, get hit in places that you shouldn't get hit in, and you guys bounce back up like it's nothing and just continue.
Trust me, there are those days where like you take that one fall or you get that one hit in the shin or something, and you're just like, you know what, man? No. It's like a love-hate relationship. You're like,
I can imagine.
You were supposed to love me, and you hurt me today. You're like, no, I'm done with you. Sad car ride home. So there are those days, but yes, like I think that's the best part is obviously not the failure, but the triumph. You know, because you keep trying, you're like, okay, I'm gonna tweak this trick a little bit more. I'm gonna tweak it this way. I'm gonna tweak it that way. Okay, I think I'm getting it. Okay, no, next try. Boom, and you get it. You're like, yes. You know, like it just like the build-up feels so good to finally get that, and then when you perfect it, it's at a whole different level because you're like, you get so confident with it, and now you're like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do a combination with this. I'm gonna do a kickflip into this crooked grind, or I'm gonna do a pop shove it out of this tail slide, or something like that. And I love the confidence of it, because you can relate that to life things too. It's like, okay, I learned so good how to drive a car. Now I'm gonna get something faster. Maybe I'm gonna get a manual now. And then you kind of keep leveling up. So you're developing your mental toughness with skateboarding.
Though the rush of adrenaline is one of the many reasons skateboarders skate, its access to community is one of its biggest draws. It brings together people from all walks of life and gives them a connection through the simplicity of doing what they love without judgment.
I noticed that's something that's like really big for you, like giving back to the community and like helping. And why is that so important? And does skate culture have a lot to do with that, or is it just something that you've kind of?
I think skate culture does have a lot to do with that, especially because I feel like a lot of people who grew up skateboarding came from impoverished areas. And I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying there's a lot of people that can relate to, well, my parents didn't have much, but I would skate because it kept me out of trouble, or like we didn't, we shared boards, or whatever. Like there was that community, that sense of community for just having those similarities. It's almost like the skate culture is a bunch of misfits that have this commonality of not fitting in, but we fit in together with each other.
Yeah.
So, and that's how the community kind of gets sucked into it, because it's like you see these people at the skate park all the time, and you're like, okay, now that's the home, and they just kind of become a part of the skaters there, and then you look after it. You look after everybody. You know what I mean?
How has it been like opening? Because I know this is the first skate shop in your town, in Windsor, correct?
Bliss is the first after about 10 years.
Okay.
So there was 2 other skate shops in Windsor. I'm not from Windsor originally, and so it's kind of difficult because people will be like, oh, you remember such and such down on blah, 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 and there used to be indoor, and I'm like, I'm not from Windsor, man. I'm not from here. And so it's like, it has that kind of weird, like almost a disconnect. And I think some people don't like it, but it's like, whatever. I didn't intentionally move to the city to put the skate shop here. It just happened to be the right place at the right time, and it just so happened to be Windsor. And so, yeah, there's that disconnect there, but I have also created something new, because there hasn't been a skate shop in so long. And so it's like, even though I have that disconnect from the original, there's still the community that has made that connection and also has accepted me for bringing something back from their childhood, kind of. Even though it's not the same thing, it's like, oh wow, we have a skate shop. This is awesome. It's really cool. It's just brought the whole community together on its own. There's another skate shop in Windsor now that opened a year after Bliss, and they're partnered with an indoor skate park. So it's just cool to see the ripple effect that the shop has made. And there's also people who from the skate community who have started like local businesses like clothing or selling wax for skate, like within the skate community, doing skateboard lessons. So it's just so cool to have planted that seed and then just seeing everything that sprouted from it.
The skateboard industry is known for its market value fluctuating from time to time. However, it is currently worth over $1 billion. Though there's a lot of money to be made, there's potential risk in owning your own local shop in today's online shopping climate. Research shows that brick and mortar skate shops can make less profit in comparison to web shops. Thanks to COVID, during the beginning of lockdown, Sasha had to turn to online sales to start her business.
You started during COVID, and then had to like switch and go online and then come back. So how has that been, that transition?
It's so crazy that like it ended up working out really well, because I'm in the military, and so I was working full time, and then COVID hit, and we're like, my supervisor's like, okay, we're gonna go to minimum manning, which pretty much means not as many people in the office. So throughout the weeks, like I'd be working 2 days a week, then the next week 3 days, and then we would switch back and forth. So the days that I was off, I was still able to run the shop from home and still do my work for my business or for the military, because I was on call. So if anything, I would have to just run in, right? Mm-hmm. So when I was home, I would work on the website, and then I would put all the products, find the pictures, post them on online. And it was just so crazy how I did it, because the website I used, you can only post 10 products. So I would use so crazy. So you could only post 10 items, right? For the free membership. So for the first item, it was decks, right? And but then you could put like 15 pictures. So under that one item, I would put 15 different decks or whatever, and in those pictures, I would number them, and then put in the description what they were. So people would call and be like, okay, yeah, for the decks, I want to get, 1A, and then for the group tape, blah, 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 and, for the hardware, this, and that. And it was funny, because it was almost like a pizza order. So I'd be on the phone like, okay, yeah, okay, cool. And then I'll be like, okay, I'll be there. I'm going to go to the shop, and your board will be ready in 40 minutes. And then so I would drive, go put the board together, put it outside the door, and then, the person, I would kind of see the person pick it up, and then they would leave or whatever. They pay, and they would leave. And when COVID lifted a little bit, I hosted an event, and it was so funny because I could see the boards that I sold, and then I would see the people. I was like, "Oh, you bought that one!
Oh, wow!
Oh, you bought that one! Okay, cool, you bought that one." So it's such an interesting experience to do that, and then so being at home actually helped me run the business, even though I was going to work. So like 2 days I would go to work, and then the other days I'd run the shop from home. And so I would take the orders, do the delivery or whatever, go to the shop, come back, that kind of thing. So that really helped with the transition. And there's been so much development since the beginning of when I had the website till now. And I'm working on a new one now. I'm working on a way better site. But it's just me. So
yeah.
It takes a long time to do that. But definitely. It's weird to say that with COVID and how it slowed down, it actually helped me to run the business.
Yeah.
So both transitions were difficult. Going to online and then switching back was difficult.
Yeah. Which one do you prefer? Like, do you prefer online, or do you kind of like the in-person?
Oh, that's a good question. I like the in-person better. Yeah. I really like the in-person better, because then I get to talk to the customers.
True.
And it's dope, because like you get regulars that come in and you're like, yo, I haven't seen you forever, what's going on, or whatever. And so that's like the best part. You can't get that online.
Yeah.
All you can see is, oh my gosh, Joe ordered a board again. Cool. Like
right, exactly.
It's not the same as in person, right?
Yeah.
So the brick and mortar is obviously way more expensive to run, because you got heat or AC. You got to pay somebody to be there, right? And all kinds of. So you got to pay for the insurance and the alarm systems and the But
a lot more.
It's for the culture, though. At the end of the day, it's like, I don't know. It's cool. It's really not like, I don't want to say it's not for me, but it kind of isn't. Yeah. I didn't really open the shop for myself. I didn't really open the shop with the idea of, oh my God, I'm going to make so much money. It's going to be so cool. I opened the shop with the idea of like, skateboarding. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. That's cool. I like that. It's fun.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the wrong mentality I have as a business owner, but when I do work for my shop, it doesn't feel like it's work. And I know that one day it'll bring in a lot of money, or at least, assist me in doing that in some way or another. It might not be directly from the shop, but something from having the business will help me to reach the level of finances that I want eventually.
Yeah. With a market share of 28%, North America is the largest supplier of skateboards. However, during the COVID era, getting supplies was not easy for many skate shops dealing with high demands due to the lockdowns and health and safety guidelines many production and distribution companies had to endure.
Are you finding that, because I know like with, how things are going right now with manufacturers having a hard time getting products and stuff like that, are you able to get products? Are you having a harder time with that? How's that going?
I had a really hard time with that. Maybe like about a year into COVID.
Okay.
And it wasn't even just me, it was other businesses too. Okay. So the problem was all the manufacturing was slowed down. And so if you, and this is for skateboard shops I'm speaking now. If you didn't have somebody to actually, okay, let me back up. So production's slowed down. Mm-hmm. And then now your suppliers finally get some products in. And the distributors, suppliers reach out to the shops and say, hey, listen, at this time, on this date, these products are going to be available. First come, first serve. So you don't have a person who is like on the emails and who is going to be like, okay, I got it. I'm ready. I got the cart. I got the window open. You know, almost like when ticket sales, so-and-so is coming to town, blah, 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 blah. Ticket sales are gone like that. Boom. Yeah. It's only been 5 minutes. You know, it was like that with products. And so if you didn't have somebody to be like, boom, 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 on the ball to get products, then you just didn't have stuff in the shop.
Really? Okay.
And so there was quite a few times I missed out on a lot of things. And then if there was stuff left, it was sizes too big or sizes too small that nobody wanted anyways, and people don't skate anyways. So that was tough. Yeah. That was definitely tough. It was literally scraping the bottom of the barrel. I was like, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to buy trucks? It was crazy. It was tough. It was tough in that way, but it definitely picked up a lot. It definitely picked up a lot since then. And like I said, it wasn't just my shop. This was like every skateboard shop owner that I spoke to during that time had the exact same problem. Same problem.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because I wouldn't think, because I mean, you hear about it with other businesses, but you don't think about like, oh, people in skateboarding world would like have, issues getting products because it just feels like it would just be there. But to hear like the difficulties of that, it's a very eye-opening thing to understand like how much people were affected with the place. Right.
It's like, it's almost like having that other line of communication rather than, the first, like, just, you just hear the chatters and stuff, and then you have that one person who's like, no, I actually worked in this place, and like, you know what I mean? Like, you get that rawness, I guess I can say. So you're like, okay, shoot, yeah, that does make sense. And interesting thing enough too, my neighbors beside the shop, they brew their own beer. Okay. And even they had issues getting products like produce in too. So it wasn't even just the skate industry. It was like everybody was dealing with this problem of low manufacturing, and how am I supposed to get what I need to try to keep my business afloat, because even the little bits of people that are coming in to buy one or two things, like that's better than nothing at all, right?
Yeah.
So it's a whole circle.
According to statistics, females make up 23.9% of skaters in the world. In 2021 alone, there was a 24% growth in women skaters. With the Olympics bringing more recognition to women skaters, the numbers is expected to continue to grow.
Have you found, since you've opened up, like, have you found more women skaters, like, coming in the shop, or?
Yeah, it's been nice to see more women come in and purchase skateboards. And then my one really good friend, Krista, she actually started, her and this young girl named Hannah started an all ladies skate community. Oh wow! Okay. And so they'll do like skateboarding events. They'll do skateboarding like every, I think, like Sunday at the outdoor park or the indoor park, and they invite all girls to come out. So it's actually super cool to see something like that in Windsor, because it really helps to bring the community together, especially for girls who want to skateboard, but they're too nervous to go to the skate park because the guys are there, or they don't feel good enough. And then you get around women who are at that same level as you, and then you feel more comfortable because it's like, oh my gosh, everybody's starting, or like we're all still learning, and still like it's so empowering.
Yeah.
So it's dope to like have that community. And then there was also been the Glengarry Skate Club. So it's like 40 kids, and it's a free skateboard program for them. So all they have to do is sign up, and they get helmet, pads, shoes, and a skateboard, and it's sponsored through Jumpstart. And like, it's dope to know that we helped to start something. Like 40 kids on skateboards, like every summer. Come on, like that's freaking awesome. And these kids went from, I don't know how to stand on this, to, Miss Sasha, look, I'm gonna do a kickflip. And I'm like, yo, slow down. So it's so cool. It's so cool to see that. I love it. I absolutely love it.
That's what I think is amazing about business. Like, it can impact so much, you know, so much people, so much community, especially kids who normally wouldn't get an opportunity like this. You following your dream ultimately lets them learn about something new and maybe possibly, you know, grow into something else.
Exactly. Definitely learn something new and like allow them to get away from any kind of negative distractions they might have around them too, right? So I miss those kids, man. I didn't get to see them this summer, but I saw all the videos and stuff on Instagram, and I was just so proud of them. And it's been. I'll get to see them more next summer, but it's so cool to see the progress with those kids, man. It's the best there.
Bliss Skateboard Shop is currently located in Windsor, Canada, a small town with a population of 340,000 people.
So what is like Windsor, Canada like? Like, what is that life like there?
Windsor's slow. Like Windsor's not like super slow motion, but it's definitely more laid back than like the Toronto area. The Toronto area is like just basically Toronto is like the New York City of Canada. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. So just good. I feel like that was a very good.
That was. that made it very clear.
like I felt the understanding in you. Yeah. Like, oh, okay. Like I felt the.
That was a good one.
So there you go. So that's how Toronto is, and I'm 4 hours. Well, yeah, 4 hours west of Toronto.
Okay.
If you know where Detroit is, you know where Windsor is.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we're like less than a mile across from Detroit, and so Windsor is. I wouldn't say it's very, very laid back, but compared to Toronto, like it's definitely laid back. We don't get as much bad traffic or crazy people. It's just the crime's not as high. Like it's just very, very slow motion compared to Toronto, and the weather's decent too. Yeah, we get winter, but when we get snow, it doesn't stay very long. Yeah. So for me, at this point, I'm like, anywhere outside of Windsor is terrible. I don't want to go there. There's gonna be snow. I'm so biased. So yeah, people consider like Windsor the Florida of Canada, which I'm like, sure. Really? It is the most southern point in the country. Okay. So, and I guess, you know, proximity it is, and weather-wise, absolutely, because you think of the rest of Canada, and it's definitely colder than the very tip of it. So Windsor's cool. Yeah. Windsor's cool. Windsor has a lot of its own little like cultural pockets and small communities throughout the city. So it's cool. It's very unique.
Running a business can take its toll, but even with a busy life, the mother of two has found a way to juggle being a mom, a businesswoman, and a woman of service for her country.
So how do you balance like you being like you? Because I know you still skate. So how do you balance skating? How do you balance being a mom, working in the military, your business?
Oh my gosh, it's hard because like I love skateboarding so much. Like if I could take a year and just not have to worry about anything and just skate like anywhere ever, like and like this is me in like my own fantasy world right now. Okay, no problems. I don't have any issues. My kids are like taken care of. Business is good. Some mythical company is like, hey Sasha, we want you to skate for a year and you just travel around the world and skateboard. I'm going. Hands down. I'll be like, everything's taken care of? Yeah? Okay. I'm going and travel the world and skateboard every single city.
Yeah.
I wish I could. How it's been for me for the summer, it's been, okay, am I gonna skate today? Am I gonna have like my artistic time, or am I gonna do the work on the business? And I'll try to pick at least two. So for today, I went and got wings for myself because the restaurant up the street does 2-for-1 wings. So I was like, so today was me and business, right? I didn't skate today. I chose not to skate today. I'm like, hey, if you skate, you're gonna be sweaty. Then you gotta eat. Then you're gonna be sweaty during the meeting. And I was like, oh, you're right. Ooh, I won't have enough time. So it was like, okay, business. You know, this for me was business, and then my me time. So I tried to not do all those things in one day. I try to kind of break it up into chunks. And then I got my boys. who are absolutely my number one. My boys are my number one because I need to take care of them as best as I can, right?
Yeah.
It is tough, and they get on my nerves, absolutely. And I need my mommy. I need my Sasha time.
Yeah.
So right now for their summer. The summertime is my time.
Yeah.
Summertime is Sasha time. Summertime is you're with dad. This is me. Now I can skate and I can business at the same time. I don't have my kids.
That's real.
When I have my boys, it's more of a timing thing. Like I'll try to, pick them up from school or whatever. All right, guys, let's sit down. Let's hang out for a little bit. Okay, I gotta get to work. And there's weeks where it's just like I'm just doing business stuff. Mm-hmm. But if I'm a little bit slow, then I can say, okay, guys, let's go to the park. Let's go up to the park for a few minutes. You guys go to the park, and then I'll go to the skate park afterwards. Or you guys just go to the park, let them hang out, run around, or whatever. Then we'll walk home, drive home, whatever the case is. So just break it up into chunks. That's how I know that was a lot, but that's how I try to balance. That's how I try to balance everything. I don't try to do everything on one day. Sometimes I try to do everything in one day, and then I have to remind myself, like, okay, what do you do?
Yeah.
The day is only so long. Come on, Sasha.
No, that's good advice. I mean, that's advice I need to take because I'm like that. I'm like trying to do like 100 things in one day. And then when I look at the list, I'm like, what did you accomplish? It doesn't feel like I did anything because it's like, every time you finish one thing, there's something else. There's always something else. It never ends,
Especially when I walk into the shop, I have to tell the guys there, I'm like, okay, I gotta just get this one thing done today and that's it. Because I'll go in there and I'll be like, oh man, that needs to get done. This needs to be painted. I gotta pull a hole there. I gotta do this, and then next thing I know, it's like the shop is closed. I've been there all day trying to do stuff, and the actual stuff I needed to get done for the day, I didn't get done because I distracted myself with what's in there. So you gotta stay focused on that. If you're just gonna go to the gym and then you're gonna watch a movie that day and that's it, just go to the gym and watch a movie. Don't try to do anything else. If you need the mental break, you need to go for a walk, just do that then.
Yeah.
So
true.
Don't try to do everything all in one day. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, so true. That's the good advice. I feel like you were meant to tell me that so that I can take that advice for myself because I don't do that well at all. So what's like your major goal? Like what's the big goal from?
Oh my gosh, I've been trying to think about that because with the business, I just really want the business to continue to make itself money, but then I don't expect it to get me rich, but I would like to eventually actually profit from it, but just still keep that money in the business. Because now, if I have that money that's been in there, then I can say, okay, I'm going to do, a winter clothing drive, and for every winter coat that's dropped off, I'll also buy a coat, or something like that, where I could still have that money, but then just still give it back to the community. That's what I would like for the business to be able to sustain itself and have a good little cushion. So if any emergencies happen, then I can pull from the business, or I can use it to just continue to fund itself and just sit there, and profit over the years. I want it to be a long-term business. Even for something, if my kids want it, to pass it down to them,
Do your sons skate at all too, or are they into skating? Or
they're a little bit into it. I don't really force them to skateboard all that much. It'd be super cool though if they were like totally into it. That would be so freaking cool. My son's doing like kick flips and stuff. That'd be so freaking cool. But who knows, man? They like scooters. My oldest son likes scooters, so whatever. Yeah.
Maybe they'll turn it around eventually.
Maybe. My youngest son is so cute because like he'll be like, "Mom, can I go to the skate shop with you?" I'm like, "All right, come on, let's go." And he loves being there because one, he gets to play the Xbox, he gets to play Avengers, and two, he loves helping me putting boards together. So he'll be like, "Oh, can I help?" And then he'll like grab the skate tools and he's there trying to like use the roller and like put use the T tool and stuff. So I'll be surprised if he doesn't end up working in the shop. I'll be very surprised.
There are over 12.3 million women-owned businesses in the U.S. that generates about $1.8 trillion a year. In 2021, 49% of new businesses were started by women.
So what advice would you give women inspiring to start their own business who, like, you know, whether it's business in skate or any type of business in general?
I always get this question. What advice would you give somebody who's going to start their own business? Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. But if you're going to do it, and I read this today on somebody's desk. They had a saying, and it said, whatever you do, if you're going to do it with the confidence of a 4-year-old wearing a Batman shirt. Like, I hope I said that correctly, but it's so true, because these kids will be 3 and 4 and they have all the confidence in the world to jump off this picnic table and land on their feet. And they're like, hey, or whatever it is they like to do. It could be a young girl and she's wearing a tutu and she's the best ballerina. You can't tell her otherwise, because she's the best ballerina today. Yeah, exactly. Do it with that amount of confidence. Yeah. And then do it to its fullest. You know, don't half step it, because it's not gonna come out. Yeah. Like, and if it fails, understand why it failed and say, okay, damn, this sucked. This didn't work. Give yourself some time and then be like, okay, I got it. I got the next one. This is exactly what I'm going to do. And now you have that knowledge of when I don't want to say failed, but I guess when you learned from the mistakes before, and you can be like, okay, remember I did it like this. No, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to do it this way. So I've had failures too with stuff with the business and all kinds of stuff. Like, so, and that's relating back to skateboarding, right? Yeah. Hey man, it's not working this way. Okay, let me try it this way. Ooh, no, that didn't. Let me switch it. Boom, and you get it, right? Yeah. Same thing. Yeah. So, anyone who's starting a business, do it, but do it with the most confidence. Don't be afraid to get things wrong, and don't be afraid to start. Yeah. Don't be like, oh, I need more money in this, and I need more this and that, and I need more. There's always a way you can start. Like, my really good friend Kevin, aka Mr. Premium, when I told him that, because he's the same guy who was like, yeah, you're gonna make history. When I told him that, he's like, you got a Facebook page? I was like, no. He's like, you got an Instagram page? No. He's like, Sasha, what are you doing? Sasha, what are you doing? What are you doing? And so, in the car, because we're all driving, in the car at that moment, I was like, oh man, okay. All right, I got the handle. Yeah. I got the handle for the skate shop. Yeah. And then I don't even remember what else I did, but I was like, okay, it's secure. And then probably the next day, I put up like a picture of the shop where it is on the Instagram page, and I posted it, and I was like, oh, you know, Bliss Skate, and I started tagging people. And I had the lease for the business, I had the space, but I wasn't going to open until March. So even though I wasn't going to open until March, I was just like, okay, let me put the word out. There's always something you can do, you know, even if, let's say, I don't know, you're a seamstress and you don't have your spot yet, you don't have the money yet, you can just put the word out, and every once in a while maybe take a client. You know what I mean? Just start somewhere, start a little bit. So I've been talking a lot. I'm sorry. No, you're good.
I mean, this is good, because I mean, I think it's stuff that we, you know, especially women of color need to hear, because, you know, you don't really get to see a lot of women of color have success in business, because it's not like the media is like putting it out there for you to hear. And so to actually hear the advice coming from someone like you talking about it, because you did it, like you and then not only did you do it, you did it during a time when people like a lot of people started a business during COVID and they didn't make it through, you know, whether things didn't work out or they gave up or they quit. So to know that you actually live it and you're talking about it, like, that's just it's very beneficial and very helpful and inspiring to people like me too.
Thank you. Yeah, that's and you're very right about what you said. And I also think that there are women of color that are in the media that we see and that we're like, wow, she's so amazing. Because I can name quite a few. Like, you got Beyonce, Rihanna, you have Issa Rae, Viola Davis, you know, Vivica A. Fox, like Missy Elliott, Little Kim, like all these artists and actresses, Black artists and actresses that are in the media that have accomplished stuff. But, and I'm not downplaying what they did, but when you're looking at that at a celebrity status, you're looking at it like, a lot of people could be looking at it like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get to that level.
Yeah.
That is so unreachable. Some people have that mindset that something like that is so unreachable, or this is going to take years for me to accomplish, right? And so it might not seem reachable, but then if you see it on maybe a scale that's a little bit more realistic to your lifestyle, then you're like, oh, okay, they did it. I can get that. I can do that too. I can do that too, and I could probably do it better. Right. So it's not saying, we're not belittling the accomplishments that they have done, but it's like, it's almost like trying to teach somebody to swim and the pool is super, super deep and they're like, whoa, let me start with something where my feet can touch the ground first, then can we work up to that, right?
Exactly.
So, I think that for me, just being just a person that people can relate to, like I have kids, I've been through a divorce, I'm in the military, so like I'm still living a common life, amongst regular people. I don't want to say regular, but just common people, right? Not at this huge celebrity status height. Yeah. So I'm glad that I'm able to inspire women and women of color, anybody really. It's really awesome to hear, and I'm glad I'm able to do that.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. And I was telling my brother, I was like, because there's days, like, especially trying to start a business from the beginning, it's like there are days you're just like, I just want to quit because everything's coming at you. You feel like you're the only one who's ever dealing with this stuff. But then you see other women who have success, and you're like, okay, I know they didn't get there without going through some of this stuff, And so it's very like helpful just to have that, because then it kind of gives you that extra boost to be like, okay, I have my little pity party for 5 minutes, and I'm gonna get back into it because I know they did it. I got to be able to do it too.
Right. Or it's like sometimes if you can kind of like relate to the downfalls, like, oh man, that happened to you? No, that happened to me too. Oh, I thought I was the only one. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I feel so much better about the situation.
Exactly.
And then you're like, okay, and you start feeling so much better. So to even have moments like that is still good. So it's still really, really good. And I still get things to people. It's dope. I like meeting new entrepreneurs and even trying to do collaborations with them. So it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Through all the ups and downs, Sasha has found a way to keep on striving. With the continual growth of her business, there is no limit to how far she can go. Her story is a true testament to what it means to have a dream and go after it, no matter the circumstances you face, even if you have to alter your plans to make the dream come true. Wishing the best of luck to Sasha, and may she continue to break down the barriers and become the first of many more things. This is The Road to 1,000 with 999 more to go. So be sure to stay tuned for next week's episode, where we celebrate National Hispanic Heritage Month by journeying to Tampa and meeting with Jada, an entrepreneur and makeup artist who shares with us her story and life inspirations. And be sure to subscribe to this channel for more explorations, discoveries, and truths. Thanks again for watching. My name is Ruth, and I'm out.
So what's one fun fact that you would want people to know about you, or people don't know about you, that you would share?
Oh, I have no idea. I have no clue. I mean, I can wiggle my ears.
Yeah.
That's not that cool though. Like,
surprisingly, I remember when I was a kid, that was like the coolest thing ever. So I think that might still be cool for some people.
That's so funny.